All right, y'all. So I want to bring up something that I guess I should address before it gets confusing and before some people try to use it against me to say something other than the truth. That light's bothering me. There we go. That's a little better. I don't have the best lighting in here. Anyway, not my truck. I'm not putting up a whole studio in here. I'm just one man on a laptop telling y'all what I think and why you should vote for me. So, I will admit, if you go to the Biloxi Politics Uncensored page, some of y'all probably sit there and, well, Anthony doesn't like this. Anthony doesn't like this. I want to get on and explain my reasons for my disapproval of certain things. And I want to start with the homeless problem we have on the coast. Um, I'm not anti homeless. Now, some of y'all just went, yeah, okay, whatever. Let me explain. I'm anti crime. I've been homeless a couple times in my life. Hadn't slept on the street, but I've certainly slept in my car, or I've been fortunate enough to drive a truck and had a bunk behind the seat. I was working, but I didn't have a permanent home. That was my life for several months back in 2016. That was also my life shortly after I returned to the coast in 2020. That's right, y'all. Yeah. Um, I've slept in my car. Just happens. I've done it. Slept in my pickup truck. But you know what I never did? Never stole something. I never shoplifted anything. I never got on drugs. Now, if you're the kind of homeless guy who just got down on their luck and you're working your way back to normalcy, we've got no problems. None. None at all. Here's where my problem is. It's the ones that you see that go around, they leave the clothes all over the place and trash all over the place, and they're high, they're drunk, they're shoplifting. They go back to the same place that have been trespassed 15 times. Those I have a problem with. Trespassing is an arrestable offense in Mississippi, last I looked. And it ain't been that long since I looked. You can go to jail for trespassing. Now, it's a minor misdemeanor. Yeah, 100%. It's a minor misdemeanor. But it's still an arrestable offense. It's still against the law. Here's the other thing, these homeless camps, like they had the big homeless camp. I don't know if they still do or not because it's been a minute since I've been back there. Last time I was back there, I was looking for somebody um, to take them to jail, bail enforcement. Um, but the old Broadwater Golf Course in Biloxi, they had hundreds of people living back there with no way of having any, you know, anything sanitary. They're not, they don't have any toilets back there. So they would go in the street or in the woods. That's unsanitary. Also, it causes property values in the area to go down. Um, Lady who I have called my aunt since I was about 12 years old worked at the Flamingo Hotel in Biloxi. She's worked there for over 30 years as a night auditor. Damn good woman. She is, what, 74, 75 years old now? A couple years ago, she was working night shift and got attacked by some bum, and that's what I'm going to call them, bums. He come walking in there. He was probably high on dope, I assume. I don't know this for a fact. I'm assuming he was high. What he did tells me he was probably high. Come walking in there telling everybody that he's security. She said, "You are not security and you need to leave." Now, she's the type of woman that she'd let him come in, get a cup of coffee if it's cold, warm up, go on about your business. She had let this guy come in there and get coffee, sent him down the road many a times after he had his cup of coffee and warmed up, whatever. Well, at this point, she is 72 years old. At this point, this is 2022. And he beats the hell out of her. She fought back. She fought back. I got to give that to her. But why should she have to deal with that? Why does the Shell station across from the Beau Rivage, in a very, you know, hotly traveled tourist area, have to have armed security? Can anybody answer that? What? Why would they need to have armed security? Because of the problem. Troy Peterson wouldn't lock them up. Matt Haley, going by his speech, promised more of the same. Me, I'll lock them up. I'll find room for them. And I know some people are going to say, well, they have mental health issues. Let me tell y'all something. My years of doing corrections, 80% of the inmates I dealt with had some type of mental health issues. I would say a strong 80%. Not saying sane people don't commit crimes, because sane people do commit crimes. But those with mental illnesses commit crimes too. And you know what? They should pay the same price. Possession, you're going to jail. Trespassing, bye, going to jail. Shoplifting, you're going to jail. Burglary, you're going to jail. Public drunk, go to jail. That's the way it used to be. I kind of liked it better when it was like that because everybody knew that if you FA, you're going to FO. Right? Y'all remember them days? I do. Pepperidge Farm remembers too. So that's my stance on it. Somebody who just got down on their luck and they're sleeping in their car, I've got no problem with it. they're asked to move and not park here with their car, they can find another place to park. If they come back, now we have a problem. Haul them on in. Wanted to clarify my position on that. Another position I wanted to clarify is my thoughts on the casinos, because I've been very vocal for years about these casinos, and I thought they were a bad idea. I still do. Personally, I am against them being here. No questions. No doubt about it. I am 100% against the casinos. And I'll also be honest with you, I don't particularly care too much for the tourist industry. As your sheriff, though, the law says they can be here. The law says, and hey, guess what? That's what they're going to get. They're going to get cooperation from us, from my sheriff's department. That's what they're going to get. I can personally not like something and still follow the law. I'm not coming in here to push my personal agenda, with the exception of my personal agenda making Harrison County a safe and as crime free of a place as I can. That's the way it has to be. I don't like cruising the coast. Everybody knows this. I don't like Black Spring Break. Everybody knows this. I don't like scraping the coast. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows I don't like things that clog up Highway 90. Everybody knows this about me. I've never made a secret about it. Cruising the coast was cool when it first came out in 1996. After that, it became a nuisance. My opinion. However, that being said, those that come down here to enjoy those events will 100% get the cooperation of the sheriff's department. Those during those events that I mentioned, every one of them that violate the law, you get what you get. If it's a ticket, get your ticket. If it's going to jail, you're going to jail. I don't know how much more plainly I can make this. Yes, I have been vocal about these events for years. I have been vocal about my disdain for them, my disapproval. But that doesn't mean that I can't cooperate with other local law enforcement agencies and keep these people safe and keep the public safe. And at the end of the day, that's my job as your sheriff. It's as simple as that, y'all. There's a lot of things on the coast I don't like, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the ability to take my personal feelings and leave them, check them at the door when I raise my hand and swear an oath and promise to do the job. That's how I'm going to run the sheriff's department. You bring your personal feelings with you, you're out of uniform. Period. Your biases, you're out of uniform. Period. It's that simple. I would rather a man, and this is just my opinion, I would rather a man come out here and tell you what he thinks so you know where you stand. That shows integrity. And that's what I'm all about. Y'all have a day. Y'all have a good day. Vote Anthony Allen for sheriff of Harrison County 2027.